Well, you saw the title of the video, you know what this is about. Donald Trump and Vladimir Zelensky had a meeting that yeah, it didn't really go well. It was a disaster. It's got a Wikipedia page about it. That's how much of a just a diplomatic meltdown that entire meeting was. And just like with any other big thing that happens in US politics these days, partisans on both sides have already taken their stances and done what they do best, which is um, use it to craft the narrative that they're trying to give us. So, of course, if you like Trump, you think this is really badass and like this was amazing, and he really was tough, peace through strength, and he owns Zelensky. Uh, that was not an owning. That really wasn't. That was embarrassing. And if you're a Democrat, you're gonna use this to further the narrative that Trump is Putin's puppet and that he's he did this because he hates Ukraine and that he's siding with Russia and that he's just this is all like you get the point. It's everyone is taking their stances on it, and nobody is talking about why that meeting went the way it did. So what were Trump and Zelensky discussing? Well, first off, it was kind of going all right. They were kind of getting along, and then the news reporters started asking really dumb questions. One of which being, "Do you think Trump is on your side?" to Zelensky. Uh, Really stupid question to ask, and it kind of just seemed designed to try to get them to fight. And you notice the reporters consistently were asking questions like that, um, like regarding like managing the issue, like the most mundane questions you could get. Like if watch the entire thing, those questions were just completely idiotic. Trump and Zelensky were just asked dumb questions, and it was mostly done by like the American partisan uh news agencies. The ones from other countries asked fairly okay questions. But eventually they started discussing, and this is like towards the end when everything just came crashing down. They were asked about a ceasefire. Now, uh, that's what Trump wants, a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine while they further work on a peace deal. And Zelensky is kind of hesitant on that, and it's for a good reason. And nobody really talked about this. Nobody talked about why Zelensky was hesitant, because the reason he was hesitant is a very good reason. There was a ceasefire done after Russia tried getting Crimea, and other world leaders came together and they all said, "Look, this is a good ceasefire deal. Russia will not attack you again." Russia said, "We will not attack them again." It was a ceasefire. There was an agreement, no more war would happen after this. And then Russia broke that in 2022. So Zelensky doesn't want any ceasefire without security guarantees by the United States. I'm very inclined to think that eventually Donald Trump or whoever the president is, I mean, it's going to be Trump for the next 4 years, but you know what I mean. Like, generally speaking, any president at this point of the US who it is really in our best interest that Ukraine does not lose this war or is not taken by Russia, I think eventually any ceasefire realistically is going to involve security for Ukraine to ensure Russia this time does not take Ukraine. Now, that may make Russia a little hesitant to agree, and we'll see whenever that time comes. Hopefully it does. But that was Zelensky's concern. Now, it could have ended at that moment. Zelensky said that it looked like Trump was subtly agreeing to that, and that's what they were focusing on. But then JD Vance, the guy who is so far been very useless as vice president because it seems like Elon Musk is more of a partner to Trump in his presidency than than he is, decides to start opening his mouth and fighting like openly, just like talking about like just giving a long-winded discussion on the issue. Zelensky explains to him, "Look, I just don't feel comfortable. I think Russia is going to continue, uh, you know, trying to gain influence, and it could be bad for the US. And then Vance just starts telling him, "Oh, you're disrespecting us. You're like it's so disrespectful for you to come here and speak so negatively about the administration that is trying to help you." And it's like, dude, he is being completely respectful. Now, should Zelensky, I guess you can say that maybe Zelensky shouldn't engage too much, but at the end of the day, it's like, sure, maybe you can interpret it as him being a little not thankful, and that was an issue he had, which is why haven't you thanked us enough? Like, have you said thank you one time? I understand that maybe he may seem a little like antsy and not thankful, but this guy's country is being attacked by a country it literally did nothing to. Zelensky did absolutely nothing to Putin or Russia. He did nothing, and he's being attacked. So yeah, he's going to be a little antsy, but of course he appreciates the help. Of course he appreciates that. Of course he does. And they also, Vance also falsely accused him of campaigning for Kamala Harris, which no, he didn't do. He met with her, and then he met with Trump the very next day because what does it matter to him who wins the election? He has to do diplomatic relations with whoever the president is. As he said in the meeting, America votes for their own president. That's not, he's in Ukraine. He's the president of Ukraine. Nobody votes for a US president except for Americans. And it's just really, it was embarrassing because I really think a presidential way to go about this, Trump should have not started arguing with him and saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be speaking like this. You should be more grateful. You're gonna have no cards without us. With us, you have cards." No, you shouldn't be being an asshole to him. You should uh tell both him and Vance, "Okay, guys, we're having a productive meeting here. Be a president instead of being an asshole." And this is kind of the biggest problem with it. I don't think this is an indication of Trump being pro-Russia. I don't think this is an indication of any of that. I think this is just an indication of Donald Trump is a consistent blowhard. He can't switch off. He really likes to give shows, and unfortunately, the media in America especially really loves getting ratings even if it means diplomatic relations fall apart. So, with all that being said, this was kind of embarrassing. Trump gains nothing from Russia benefiting off this war. They illegally invaded Ukraine. They have to get the hell out of that entire country. And that's what Zelensky wants. And sure, Zelensky could perhaps be a little bit more grateful, but also, you should be a little more sympathetic to the guy who is currently having his country attacked for no reason. He did nothing wrong. It's insane. Um, you know, Listen, at the end of the day, geopolitics is not something that you should be engaging your partisan biases into because it goes beyond your political party at home. We need Ukraine to not be taken by Russia. Putin needs to get out of Ukraine now. In fact, no, he needs to get out yesterday. No, he needs to get out 3 years ago. And this meeting is a really just embarrassing sign, and I really hope that um, with time, Trump and Zelensky meet again, and this time, no press, please, never again. And they need to come to an agreement. The US will guarantee security for Ukraine. There will be a ceasefire, and then we can continue peace agreements. And Putin is not going to rebuild the USSR. He needs to drop that stupid dream he has, but Putin is a bit of a fascistic dictator, insane psycho who is going to be a little harder to deal with. But yeah, just really embarrassing. This is yeah, this really sucked, but just wanted to give my thoughts on it. Take care, everyone.